This is Real News Media TV, coverage you can trust. Please like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Select all for daily news updates. Trelawney brothers are charged for killing uncle, granted $400,000 bail. The two Trelawney brothers charged for the murder of their uncle in an altercation over a chicken farm have each been granted $400,000 bail. Shamaria Green and Michael Hyman were ordered to report to the police once weekly, and a stop order was also imposed. In applying for bail today, their attorney, Abledon Foote, argued that his clients acted in self-defense. He argued that the deceased was armed with a machete, which he raised to inflict injury to the men, but his attempt was thwarted by the preemptive strike by one of the accused. He further argued that the accused men were in fear of their lives and acted lawfully. The judge upheld the application and granted bail. The matter is to be mentioned on May 2. Clive Clark, otherwise called Kete, a laborer of Troy Trelawney, was killed shortly after 2 p.m. on Sunday, February 20. It is being alleged that he traveled to his sister's house, where he and his two nephews got involved in a dispute over stolen chickens from the woman's coop. It reportedly escalated into a physical confrontation when Clark allegedly attacked his nephews with a machete and was hit on his head with a plank. Clark fell to the ground unconscious and was rushed to the Percy Junior Hospital in Manchester, where he later died while being treated. The police were summoned, and upon arrival, both brothers were taken into custody in connection with their uncle's death. Why killed them? A Central Village man laments fatal police shootings. A Central Village man is expressing concern over the prevalence of police killings during confrontations in inner-city communities, arguing that more effort should be made by lawmen in preserving the lives of even the most notorious suspects and have the court decide their fate. "No garrison youth not get no justice right now, not even from Indicom," he said. He was speaking with the news following the fatal shooting of 4 alleged gunmen by the police in Central Village on Wednesday morning. The man, who declined to state his name, said he was unaware whether the deceased suspects were in fact innocent, but believes the police could generally exercise more restraint during confrontations. "Work by protocol, try the youth them," he said. "Oh God, man, everybody deserve a trial, man." Up to the middle of February, there were 19 fatal shootings by the police since the start of the year, 4 of which involved vulnerable persons, according to Indicom. One advocacy group, Stand Up Jamaica, expressed deep concern at the statistics, which it described as alarming, and said it reflects the failure of the security forces, who lack the proper training in how to approach various circumstances. Fire destroys a 7-bedroom house and businesses on Lyndhurst Road. Several people were left homeless and out of business in St. Andrew on Tuesday when fire of unknown origin razed a mixed-use commercial and residential property at the intersection of Lincoln Avenue and Lyndhurst Road. 5 trucks from the Jamaica Fire Brigade responded to the call about 4 p.m., and the firefighters were able to bring the blaze under control, but not before some residents suffered severe losses. "Everything gone, not all me have left," one man, who gave his name only as Danny, told the news. Danny, who said he has lived at the premises for up to 30 years, told the news team that he had left home briefly to borrow a charger and was alerted to the fire as he made his way back to the dwelling. "A lady say, you know see the fire over there so? She not even know say there so me live. And you see by the time me grab the hose, fire blow through the rooftop already. Me can't even run to my bedroom to save a pants or a shirt. The fire moved like a bullet out a gun," Danny said. He said all but 2 of the 7 bedrooms in the residential section of the premises were destroyed by the fire, along with a bar, a restaurant, and a pet shop. Fortunately, all the pets, including birds and a snake that had been housed in the shop, were saved before it was gutted by the fire, residents said. Kerry Gale Forbes, the acting public relations officer for the Jamaica Fire Brigade, said 3 units from York Park and 1 each from Trenchtown and Halfway Tree responded to the blaze. The cost of the damage was not ascertained up to publication time. Trelawney wanted man turns himself in. One of 9 men who were listed as wanted by lawmen in Trelawney last week turned himself in to the police on Monday. He is 64-year-old Junior Thick-Chest Clark, a laborer from Bunkers Hill in the parish, who was wanted for a stabbing incident that occurred almost 2 years ago. Head of the Trelawney Police Division, Superintendent Carlos Russell, told the news that Clark made contact with the police and subsequently handed himself over. He has since been charged with wounding with intent, Superintendent Russell said. He will appear in court next Wednesday. The incident for which Clark is charged occurred in the Friendship district of Trelawney on April 24, 2020. It is reported that about 3:30 a.m., Clark and a woman with whom he shared an intimate relationship got into an altercation after he accused her of still being involved with her ex-husband. During the altercation, a knife was used to stab the woman in her left shoulder, causing a wound that bled. She was subsequently taken to the hospital, where she was admitted for several days. Following police investigations, a warrant was issued for Clark, but he was never found. Russell encouraged the other wanted men to follow Clark's example and also turn themselves in. The other 8 men still at large are Junior Bigfoot Bennett, who is wanted for the murder of farmer Garcia Williams, 41. Williams was killed on her farm in Greentown on January 31, 2022. Twins Stanford and Eric Morrison wanted for a murder that occurred in Bounty Hall in 2018. They are also facing 2 counts of wounding with intent. They are known to frequent the Wakefield community. Brian Bree Samuels wanted for the October 2021 killing of farmer Leroy Graham, 57. Graham was beaten to death at a bar in Lorimers. Lascelles Zabuya Wright from Troy wanted for a murder committed in Troy in 2019. Tawayne T.Y. Ellis from Low River wanted for shooting with intent following an incident on March 8, 2021 in that community. Colin McFarlane and Kristen Davis are wanted for wounding with intent. Higher fuel prices will affect the cost of electricity, says JPS. The Jamaica Public Service is raising an alarm that rising fuel prices in the wake of Russia's invasion of Ukraine will affect the cost of electricity in Jamaica. The Light and Power Company notes that Jamaica is heavily dependent on imported oil and natural gas for the production of electricity as well as for transportation and manufacturing. JPS Chief Financial Officer Vernon Douglas points out that the war in Ukraine means fuel is much more expensive and there is less of it, underscoring that the prices of both oil and natural gas have increased since last year. Douglas believes that they will increase much more now. A higher fuel cost means higher electricity cost. We have to pay more to the fuel suppliers. We have no choice. Fuel makes up about half of our customers' electricity bills, so the changes from one month to the next can be quite significant, he said. JPS says it is also concerned about the possible shortage of fuel for Jamaica. The company says it has started discussions with its fuel suppliers, Petrodram and New Fortress Energy, to assess their ability to meet the country's fuel needs. Our suppliers are exploring all options to secure fuel to keep the lights on. There could be a global fuel shortage as sanctions tighten on Russia. As a small country, Jamaica could be badly affected. We all have to work together to get through this global crisis, said Douglas. Meanwhile, the JPS CFO says he is relieved that the government plans to cushion the import of increasing energy costs on the most vulnerable. He is hoping that the government will also suspend the fuel and electricity sales tax to further ease the burden on consumers during this difficult time. Many males are human trafficking victims, says JCF. Head of the Anti-Trafficking in Persons Unit, Jamaica Constabulary Force, Deputy Superintendent of Police Carl Berry has informed that males now form a larger part of the number of human trafficking victims. Addressing a tourism product development company Trafficking in Persons webinar at the Montego Bay Convention Center in St. James on March 9, Berry noted that in the year 2000, predominantly women and children, were the primary targets of human trafficking. However, fast forward, and we see an enormous number of males now being victims of human trafficking. It means, therefore, that we could just say everybody is targeted because we are all vulnerable, he said. DSP Berry is also encouraging citizens to play a more active role in helping to eradicate cases of human trafficking. He called on individuals to educate themselves about the issues, name and shame people suspected of taking part in human trafficking, and report suspicions of the crime promptly. For her part, Executive Training Manager at TPDCO, Ruth Harris, who spoke on behalf of the organization's Executive Director, Wade Mars, underscored that one way to eliminate human trafficking is by making the issue everybody's business. It is essential that everybody knows what it is and how to stop it. Therefore, I invite you not only to absorb this information, but to apply the knowledge gained, she said. Being a global issue, a collective effort is paramount to effectively mitigate and put an end to trafficking in persons. As such, the webinar seeks to provide an avenue that will encourage you to treat this issue as a matter of national priority. We are charged with the responsibility of raising public knowledge and awareness of this heinous crime across the length and the breadth of Jamaica, Harris said. Human trafficking can be defined as the receipt, harboring, and the transportation of a person through various means of threat, use of force, fraud, or other deceptive means, or even abduction for the exploitation of that person. As of April, TPDCO will be introducing a human trafficking module as part of the Team Jamaica training and the certification program. The webinar highlighted current international and local best practices on how to identify, rescue, and care for trafficked victims. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Select all for daily news updates.